Okay, so we're going to do a quick demonstration of using ArchiCAD, SketchUp, and Twinmotion, and how we can use this workflow where we take our model from ArchiCAD, link it into Twinmotion, and then take objects from SketchUp and also link it into Twinmotion, and then we render from Twinmotion. So this is the workflow we're going to do. So first thing we need to do is we definitely need to have the plugins for ArchiCAD. So when you open Twinmotion, you're going to see the plugins, and these are the different plugins. You look for ArchiCAD and you will see Datasmith exporter for ArchiCAD, and you just click download for Windows, and that's it. And when you download the Datasmith plugin, you need to have ArchiCAD closed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close ArchiCAD here. So next and OK. And it's going to detect the ArchiCAD versions that I have installed. So I'm using 27. And that's it. Now I could also install the SketchUp version as well. And then, however, we are not going to use the Datasmith exporter to export from SketchUp, and I will tell you why a little later, right? So, okay. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is open the ArchiCAD model in the other two software, right? So, to do that, we need to just go to File and go to Save As. And we're gonna make sure that you're in the 3D view in ArchiCAD, and I'm gonna save this as ArchiCAD model, right? There we go, and I'm gonna save it as the most complex version. Then I'm gonna go to SketchUp, go to File, and go to Open, because I've saved it as a SketchUp file. So now I'm able to open the SketchUp file. So I'm gonna open the ArchiCAD model. Right, and it should come in the exact same position. Now for Twinmotion, I need to open the Datasmith toolbar. So I'm going to go to Toolbars, I'm going to go to Palettes, and I'm going to click on Datasmith palette here. And you should see this tool palette comes up. And I'm going to choose Export to Datasmith file. I'm going to save it as ArchiCAD model. All right, so the Datasmith file is what we're going to link into Twinmotion. Before we do that, we want to go to our scene and we want to delete these elements here. We can leave the ground and the background for now, so we're going to delete those. Then we're going to choose Import and choose a plus, and on the geometry we choose Open, and then we're going to look for the ArchiCAD model Datasmith file and choose Open. And pretty much you can leave everything here default. I'm going to choose Import. All right, great. So we have the ArchiCAD model in our scene. There we go. All right, so let's take a look back on our workflow. So the idea is that we're going to keep Twinmotion linked to ArchiCAD. So in case we have to make any updates in ArchiCAD, we can just reload the model. However, in SketchUp, the model is just a reference. So we're not going to take the building model into Twinmotion. We're just going to take the objects that we add to enhance the model in SketchUp from SketchUp Warehouse, right? So in this case here, we're not going to use this model to carry back into Twinmotion. We're just going to use it as a reference so we know where to place our objects, right? Okay, so let's say, so we're going to go to a website here. So this is the SketchUp 3D warehouse where we can get a ton of things free. I have here some outdoor dining as an example. So I'm going to download this outdoor dining SketchUp file, and I'm going to just drag it into the SketchUp model like that. So now we have this outdoor dining here, and I can look for any other objects that I want to add, street lamps or just about any. There's a wide range of models that we can find in 3D Warehouse. So I would add all of those models directly in here. Using the building as a reference, I know exactly where to place it. So for example, let's try a different object. Let's try pendant light. And let's just say for some reason I wanted to add a hanging light into my model here. This one seems interesting, so I'm going to hit download. And there it is. And I'm just going to drag it into my scene. Here it is, here. So I'm going to move this down, put it about there, then move it across, put it about there. All right, so I have now added these two objects into my scene, which is this hanging pendant light and this outdoor dining. Now all I need to do to carry it into the scene, firstly, I do not need to carry back my model into Twinmotion. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to select all the objects that I add in. I'm going to go to edit and go to invert selection. I'm going to just hit delete. So now I should be left with only the objects that I want. I'm going to save this. So I'm going to save this as SketchUp models. Great. So now back into Twinmotion, all I need to do is to import that file called SketchUp model. Now there's another important point I want to talk about here. Notice that I am importing the SketchUp file. I could very well use the Datasmith exporter from SketchUp, but the Datasmith exporter tends to have a lot of flipped polygon errors, right, coming especially from SketchUp. So if I use that importer, some of my polygons might not show. So using the SketchUp file instead of the Datasmith file when using SketchUp is much more efficient. There is one slight drawback, and I'll show you how to go around that problem. So back into Twinmotion, I'm going to go to Geometry, Open, and I'm going to open the SketchUp model. I'm going to leave everything at default, and I'm going to choose Import. Now, let's talk about the drawback of using the SketchUp files. Now, if you notice, here is my table, but my hanging pendant light is all the way here, and it really should be underneath this slab. Now, this is the drawback with working with a SketchUp file rather than a Datasmith file coming from SketchUp. Of course, the advantage is that the model comes in very nice. There are no flip polygons coming from SketchUp. So the way to go around this, it's very simple. Whenever you import any model as a SketchUp file into Twinmotion, you need to go to Scene, find the folder for that model. So here we go. The SketchUp model is here. So if I turn it on and off, this is the objects that we carried in from SketchUp. And all we need to do is go to the XYZ here, look for the Z rotation, and just write -90. So for some reason, when you import a SketchUp file, it always comes in rotated at a 90-degree angle. This has always been an issue between SketchUp and Twinmotion. Hopefully they will correct this issue, but this is all you need to do. And now it is in the exact positions as was in the SketchUp file. So that's it. So that is how you use this workflow, where we can continue to import models from SketchUp into Twinmotion, but we can also link the model from the BIM software, which is ArchiCAD, to Twinmotion, and we can always update the model there while bringing in models from SketchUp into Twinmotion.